You know what? I like Red Dead Online. It's a good addition to the original game, and as a whole, it's really not that bad. Probably the best part of Red Dead Online is its world. Whatever Rockstar decided to do with the online, they still have the perfect world they created for the main game, with the added novelty of being able to traverse it with friends. A lot of the enjoyment I got out of the online was just travelling between missions with a friend and taking in the dense world of Red Dead 2 that is just as beautiful as it was a year ago when the original game released, still giving you those great unscripted moments that were just as good in the original game. Holding up in a saloon to hide from the law, taking over a train, having a duel. Alright, this is going to be an epic gamer duel. I hope you're ready. What the fuck are you doing? You want to move, please? Oh, for fuck's sake. Slaughtering a small town. Cool Assassin's Creed Unity, a forward game one more time, I fucking dare you. All those moments that are completely unplanned, like tackling a bounty off a cliff. Wow, this is fucking cool, this is. Oh, he's fucking... Oh, okay, he's dead. Which is pretty fucking sick. But for all the flaws Red Dead Online has, and it has many, the world is still perfect. Since I mentioned flaws, I'll get them out of the way now, because Red Dead Online definitely has a fair few. First of all, the microtransactions are pretty bad. Not the worst, but still pretty bad. The economy in Red Dead Online is incredibly steep as is, and the microtransactions are bad of course, but never to the point of, say, GTA 5 in its current state. I've never felt like the game would be easier if I only bought microtransactions, because I generally hoarded money and only buy things if I'll have at least 3k left. To the game's credit, the economy has been drastically improved. Originally you get a few dollars for clearing out a gang, leaving you with just enough to pay for the ammo and health supplies you just used, with maybe $1 or so left over. Since then there's been many more added methods of getting money, but my main issue with the economy is there just isn't enough to spend it on. And what there is to spend it on, it's disproportionate. For example, you can buy an outfit for $550 and for $100 less buy one of the best horses in the game. Horses are actually one of the few things that are quite well priced. If they're not too expensive, but just expensive enough so you feel you've achieved something. There's some gun paint and clothes that go well into the hundreds. It's a common criticism that we shouldn't have things like mansions in the game because they cost too much, but by the same token, you can rock up to your council flat of a camp in some fucking $500 crepes for some reason, living with some homeless bloke. At this point, all there is to buy in the game are horses, guns, clothes, cards or wagons for hunting and bounties, and they're only really there to make more money. And most people will settle for a few guns or one horse they really like. Speaking of cards, it only makes sense to talk about the PvP elements of the game.
Shut up, you dickhead, now fuck off! Don't send me another message, fuck off! You little prick, you little batty man! Are you right?
In pretty much any online game, PvP is a major factor, and it's no different in Red Dead Online. The game has your typical death matches and free-for-alls, but I'm not really going to talk about those since you already know how they work off of the games alone. The place where PvP is at its worst and its best is in free roam. Let me explain. PvP can be great. Fighting off a big posse in the world of Red Dead 2, being as immersive as it is, can feel great. Being shot for no reason was always frustrating.
Why are you murdering Walshy for? What's that about?
I'm not murdering Walshy, he murdered me.
You look like you got a face full of guilt.
Oftentimes it devolved into these chaotic battles where at times you'll see 3 posses and the law all fighting each other at once. It was great and much more enjoyable than the bland PvP in GTA 5. But at its worst, the PvP is just awful. Not the mechanics itself, but circumstance. Much like GTA 5, Red Dead Online has a similar cargo delivery system where it's public and anyone can destroy your product. You've spent a full day filling up a wagon of shit to sell? Nah. Fuck you, because Jailbait 45 from Scumfuck Smethwick is just going to destroy it anyway. One thing I was worried about going into Red Dead Online was the story. I was worried it wouldn't live up to the main game, but to my surprise, it surpassed it. Characters like Hawley and Miss Leclerc are simply unforgettable and end up not only being some of the best characters in gaming, but some of the best characters of all time. Tarantino who? Kubrick who? Scorsese who? Because Hawley and Miss Leclerc are the two best characters of all time, and no director could ever come up with anything better. The villains are also just phenomenal. Amos Lansing was the most I'd feared a villain ever. He owned every single scene he was in. There were times where I physically pissed myself, but I didn't mind because the story just had me that engrossed and captured. I'm just joking. It's actually pretty fucking awful. And probably the best part of Reddit Online is taking the piss out of Will Williamson. It looks like Bill Williamson's special needs brother. In all seriousness, the online story just isn't very good. The characters are all 2D with nothing memorable about them, as well as the fact that exposition is done so heavy-handedly, especially when compared to the main story, which at least had some personality and charm to it if nothing else. Although the main story is pretty bad, some of the missions are actually quite great, with bank robberies and gunfights that would feel at home as side missions in the main story. Generally the story is unimportant, but it's a really nice addition to the game that adds a lot of replayability to the online. Now, in September, Red Dead Online got a huge update that puts the game on a great path. We got the Frontier Pursuits update, which added collecting, bounty hunting and trading. These weren't just new ways to make money, but it added a whole lot of new content to the game and just more things to do rather than just normal missions or stranger events. On top of those, Frontier Pursuits also added legendary bounties. Each week a new legendary bounty has been added to the game, which include its own cinematic and its own unique mission, which feel like they are actually made with passion, unlike a lot of the online. Frontier Pursuits is exactly what an update should be. It adds so much to the game while leaving a path open to add so much more, and it really is a good sign of what's to come for Red Dead Online in the future. And honestly, it's a shame so many people turn the game down before being able to see just how great this update is. I feel like not enough people give Red Dead Online the time of day that it really deserves. Most people stop playing the beta because of the economy alone, and that has since been fixed drastically. If you own Red Dead Redemption 2 but don't play the online, you definitely should. Well, you're not missing out on anything from the original game. It definitely adds a lot to Red Dead Redemption as a series, and has a lot of good elements in it. So that's just a short video on why I think Red Dead Online really isn't that bad of a game, and I hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you all next time. As well, I just want to say thanks for the support on the channel. Last week I had 26 subs, this week I have 33, so you know there's kind of some big fucking moves going on the Wilshire YouTube channel, and seriously, thanks for subscribing though, I really do appreciate it lads. I'll see you in the next one. A lot of the enjoyment I got out of the online was oh my the fucking washing machine's on. Is that